Hey everybody, welcome to our Monday Night Live call, and tonight we have a really important topic that we need to talk about. So important that your business is going to depend on it. And that is a system. Systems allow ordinary people to achieve extraordinary things. And even extraordinary people, if they don't have a good system, they are basically going to be ordinary. And so you need a system because a system is going to allow you to duplicate. And duplication is the key to your business, because we all know that you cannot build an entire organization on your own by yourself. You have to have basically a volunteer army of people doing exactly what you are doing. And so it's your responsibility to get your new joins off to a strong start. That's your main responsibility as a leader. First of all, to share about Plexus with them. Cast the vision for them about what this opportunity can mean for them and their families, and then get them off to a strong start. Those are your main three job descriptions as a Plexus ambassador and leader, okay? And so you want a system that is duplicatable. That means that your level 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6, and 25s can all do exactly what you're doing. And in order for something to be highly duplicatable, it also has to be extremely simple. And so the simpler something is, the more duplicatable it is. So we got some ideas from some jewels in the company, and we kind of already had a skeleton of a system. But Emily Haas, our fabulous graphic queen, was so kind to make us up some pretty graphics, and we just hopped on the phone today and planned out something that was very, very duplicatable, easy and simple to follow, and that will work and be effective for every single new ambassador, whether or not they are interested in the business opportunity. Okay, so the first thing we want to talk about is how to prospect, okay? So this is before they actually join, the process of recruiting. So Emily, can you share that graphic? Okay, here we go. So smart prospecting. This is the process of recruiting from the first time you reach out to them all the way to the close. You reach out and you ask if they're open to hearing about Plexus. And you're going to do that, you're going to pique their interest by sharing your story, okay? And when it says share impact story, have you guys ever seen that TED Talk? I think it's Simon Sinek. Is that how you say his name? It's called People don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it. And so when you're sharing your story with people, it needs to be really concise and short, but they don't care about ingredients most of the time. What they care about is, why are you doing Plexus? And you should be able to nail that down to 2 or 3 sentences, okay, that are going to grab people's interest. So share your quick story, and it can be either about the products or the opportunity. Why are you doing this? And then when they're open to hearing about it, you send a tool. You do not do a presentation about Plexus yourself. Even if you can, you don't, because it's not duplicatable. Because even if you do know every ingredient and the microbiology behind all of it, your level 7 might not. And so the last thing you want people to think is, oh, she's really smart. She knows all this stuff, but there's no way that I could do that. So therefore, it's not duplicatable. So just important to keep in mind that in this business, it doesn't matter what works. It only matters what can duplicate. And so what can duplicate is sharing about Plexus using a third-party tool. And a tool is simply presenting the information without your mouth. It's just sharing a digital brochure or a YouTube video or a sample of the product, or inviting them to an event, or using your upline even can be a tool, sharing the information with them. Any way you can get these people in front of presentation or information about Plexus without you being the one that is telling them is using a third-party tool, okay? So shareables, whatever. So use a tool, and then you set the follow-up. So that looks like this. Here's a quick overview of a product that's only like 2 to 5 minutes long. How soon do you think you could watch it? You let them set the follow-up. So they're going to tell you, oh, I can watch it tonight after I get the kids in the bed or whatever. Then you follow up the next morning, right? So they're setting the follow-up appointment, and you check in after they said they have kind of committed, okay, I'm going to review the tool or use the tool or watch the tool at this time. Then you follow up after that. And then, or if you share a tool, I got this tip from Amber Miller because I thought this was fabulous. If you share a tool, say you share a digital brochure from your virtual office, and then they don't respond, like you say, how soon do you think you could check this out? And they don't respond, then you just give them 2 or 3 days and you check back in. You say, hey, I know you're probably crazy busy like me, so let me just give you the highlights of what that said. And then you just kind of give them an overview because they already said they were open, right? And you just hit the highlights using that tool, all right? And then you can use three-way chats, an event three-way chat with your upline, or invite them to an event. Basically, you want to get them in front of a presentation or use some other kind of tool all the way to the close. So you're going to repeat. So share a tool, follow up, share a tool, follow up, share a tool, follow up, all the way until they actually join you. So that could be like you reach out, they're open to hearing about it, share a YouTube video, you follow up. Then you add them to the Gut Health Happiness page and tag them in a testimony, and then you follow up. And then you invite them to an event, and then you follow up. And then you send them a sample of the product, and then you follow up. And then you do a three-way chat with your upline or a three-way call with your upline. And you just keep using different forms of tools all the way until they make a decision. Because if people know what you know, they're going to make the same decision you made, right? The key is to educate them, but you can't do it all at once. You have to do it over time. It's a process, and this is how you do it. Okay, so next slide, please, Emily. So that's how you recruit. Now, once you recruit someone, what do you do with them? And that is really the system that we want to talk about tonight. How to get your new ambassador off to a strong start. What do you do with them after they join? Is your job over? Absolutely not. It has just begun, actually. Are you still sharing your screen, Emily? Hold on, let me unmute you. Okay. You just muted yourself again. Okay.
There I am. Okay. No, I took that one off. Let me get the next one up here. Okay. There is our next one. Okay. So Brittany just talked about the smart prospecting and how we get people on board. So now the big question is, what do we do with them once we have them, right? Because that's where everybody's like, I don't know what to do. Okay, so we have this awesome new graphic. And here's what you do.
Emily, hang on. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but do y'all see that graphic like I see it?
Do you see it? Is it there?
Oh, wait, there. That fixed it. I don't know what you did, but it's fixed. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, and it's the first 2 days one? That's what y'all see?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Okay, so the first 48 hours when you get a new join, they are critical because people are excited. Anytime you do something new like that, you know, whether they came in just to do the products and get healthy and start feeling fabulous, or they're business builders and they want to, you know, take the business and run. Either way, they're excited about it. They wouldn't have joined you if they were not excited about it. And so you need to take advantage of that excitement and kind of use it while they still have it. You know, get all that you can out of this excitement and do it within their first 48 hours. So, you know, we always say get on the phone to join your prospects, okay? That is going to solve a lot of problems. It's going to let you answer questions as they come up. Subscription is usually a question, you know, those kind of things. So get on the phone to join your prospects. And if you cannot get on the phone with them during the joining process, maybe they want to join while you're at work and they want to do it right that second, right? And you can't get on the phone. So be sure that you get on the phone with them within that first 48 hours, that first 2 days, and walk them through the things. You know, talk about their their order, make sure everything looks right, make sure their subscription's on, that kind of stuff. But while you're doing that, go ahead and walk them through their back office a little bit. This is where, even with product users, that you're going to be able to drop those little nuggets about the business and the opportunity that we have here. So what I always show people is, first I show them where they can order, show them how to work their subscription, how they can add products to it, when they decide they want to try out X Factor, that kind of thing. And then I show them their dashboard where they will see any new friends they have that join them, that kind of thing. And then I always go and show them where the commission summary is and let them know that they're going to be getting paid on their products that they order over 100 PV, because people like to get paid. So that's a great thing to show them. So I go through those kind of things, and then taking them down to shareables or the training and resources. Those are great things to show them as well, so that they can kind of know that there are things in there that they can dig around and play with, because a lot of people are going to be more curious than they may let on. So they may get in there and dig around, even if, they're not really putting off that they're very interested in learning those kind of things. Show them anyways, because there's a good chance that they may just get in there and dig around. And when they do, they're going to start asking you questions. So that's what you want to do first off, is get on the phone and show them these things. Next, you're going to add them to the team page. Always, always, always put your people in the team page. If they join you, they go in the team page, no questions asked. And you don't have to ask their permission to get them in the team page. This is just something we do. They need to be in there. They need to see our culture. They need to be exposed to the encouragement and support and just awesome people that we have in our team page. So always get people in the team page. Do a welcome post. Let your friends, welcome them into our community, because we have an awesome community and culture, y'all, and you're going to want your people exposed to it. Along with that, you're going to add people to a 3-way chat with your sponsor if they're not already in one. This is also a non-negotiable. Just like the team page, you don't have to ask permission. You just do it. Get them in that chat with your sponsor and let them have that other connection to Plexus. This is so, so, so very important. People are going to stick with you long term, not because they love the products, which most of them will love the products, but they're going to stick with you long term because they have connections and relationships built. That's what keeps people more times than not. So that's very, 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 very important, is to do those 3-way chats. And Brittany wants to tell you a little something extra about the chats here. Non-negotiable.
Yes, I do want to tell you a little something about these chats, because culture eats strategy for lunch, guys. You're going to hear Diamond say that, because it is absolutely true in this business that you can have strategy all day long, but if you don't have culture, you're going to deal with high attrition rates. If you are dealing with lots of people falling off along the way, it's probably because you're not plugging them in. You do not want to be the only connection that somebody has to Plexus, okay? So for any of you churchgoers, you will understand this analogy when I say, when you first start looking for a church, what might draw you in is probably going to be something like the preaching. For some people, it might be the music, basically what's being taught there. But years down the road, that's not what keeps you there long term. What keeps you there is the relationships that you have formed along the way. And we have a really, really good team culture. Every single new join that joins our team, they are basically like a new family member that needs to be welcomed in and embraced and made to feel like they are now part of our family. They cannot do that if you're not welcoming them into the team page, number one, but secondly, plugging them in with your upline. And so that way they have another connection to Plexus besides you. And also, if they start detoxing or whatever the case may be, then you have someone there to give you that third-party validation, to celebrate the detox with them, to just help you through that process, right? It's not like, oh my gosh, Mayday detox, let me bring in my sponsor. If they're already in a chat with them, it's like, we're all friends here. and we're all in this together. And then when you follow up with your new ambassador, and this by the way, this first 2 days sheet right here is for every single new ambassador, regardless of whether they're working the business or not. This is for anybody who joins your team, even for customers. Oh, actually, you don't add customers to the team page, but they do need to be in a 3-way chat because you want to retain those people too, and they need those relationships. So this is for every single person. Whether they're interested in the business or not, they need to have a connection with your team, with your upline or whatever. Plug them in.
Yes, all that. Get them in the chats for sure. So once you get the chat going, and if you don't know really how, some people are not super comfortable with how to start that chat, like what to say, we can put a script here in the chat and y'all can see that kind of thing. But it is non-negotiable. Just do it and use it. Once you get people in the chat, use the chat. That's what it's there for. If you give it value, your new team members are going to give it value. So don't start the chat and then talk to them twice in there and then all of a sudden start talking to them outside the chat all the time, because then you just lost that connection, right? So just keep them in the chat. It's very important. But once you get the chat started, one of the first things you're going to do is send them the triplex instructions. We need to make sure people are coming in knowing how to take their products properly. There's a reason that we start people slowly on the triplex, and we just need to follow that with people. So make sure you send them those instructions. If you don't know where they are, go in Plexus Freedom Team and search triplex instructions. It will pull up a graphic. It's a pretty little graphic with instructions on it day by day how to take it. So you want to send that in the chat. And along with that, I always send Brooke Hemingway's what to expect when you start Plexus, that little video that she has. That's great to send along with that.
I also like Jessica Hogendorn's video about how long does it take Plexus to work. That's what I've been sending all my new people, because it gives them proper and realistic expectations from somebody with lots of credentials about how the products work and what they can expect. I like that one too.
Yes, I love that one too. Okay, so lots of resources. See, we have endless resources for y'all. Okay, so that is our chat. We've got that done. So the next thing we're going to do is ask your new team member to give you a shout-out post. They're excited. We're wanting to take advantage of this excitement. Now, they don't have their products yet because it's just been the first 2 days, right? So all you need to do is just say, hey, I'm so excited that you ordered your products and you're going to get started. Would you mind just giving me a shout out post on Facebook and letting your friends know that you've started this and you're excited about it? It's that simple. You know, they can throw up a selfie with it, tag you in it, done. And they're not having to take a pink drink selfie. They're not having to do really any of that. They're basically just giving you a shout out because you're an awesome friend and you introduced them to something that they're excited to start. So that's it. If we can get people doing this in the first 48 hours while they're excited, it's going to create a lot more excitement, and that's just going to trickle down. So this is something you definitely want to duplicate. And then once you have that done, that's when you're going to begin your 4-touch follow-up system that we've talked about before. That graphic too is in Plexus Freedom, so you can go and look that up. You want to start that, and that's again going to be with every new ambassador every single time, because whether they are a product user or a business builder, you want to make sure they're getting the best results with their products and that they're reaching their goals. So following up with them effectively about their products is going to be key to doing that.
Yeah, and also one thing I wanted to add about the shout out post, guys, is that most of the time they say yes. And I was just talking to Amy Ballard about this earlier, actually. She had sent out samples of the Joyome and asked people for a shout-out post, kind of like as a condition. And they all said yes. They're all going to post on Facebook. So, but they're not going to if you don't ask them. So, but, I mean, they're going to do you a favor if you ask them to do it. So, you have
Yeah, and most people will. I mean, just think, we do that anyway so many times. I mean, my friend told me about some awesome lip gloss that I bought and I love it, and so I put it on Facebook and said, look what my friend told me about, I love it. So people do that naturally anyways, but you have to ask. So that's that. That is, let me stop the screen sharing for a minute and change.
Yeah, and it's not like you're asking them to sell anything. You're asking them to do you a personal favor and just give you a shout out. Like, hey, I just ordered my plexus. I'm really excited because my friend Emily told me about it and it did this for her. So I can't wait to see how it helps me.
Right.
They're doing you a favor. Super.
Exactly. Very simple. And we just love, we love to do good things for other people. So that's it. All right. So this next one that we're going to go to is the first 7 days. So we've done the first 2 days, and now we're going to go to their first week. Can y'all see this first 7 days graphic?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So this is the first 7 days. Once we get through the first 2, you're going to finish out their first week here. The first thing we want to do, and this is for new business builders, we're not going to do these steps with just product users. These are for people that you've already talked to about the business, that kind of thing. Because we want them to, be trained and know what to do to build their business, because that is why they joined you. So the first thing we're going to do is tag them in the Plexus 101 Getting Started video that's pinned at the top of Plexus Freedom. So it's super simple to find. It's about an hour and 15 minutes or so long, something like that, but it's completely comprehensive. And just definitely what you want to share. And Brittany, you're gonna talk about that, right?
Yeah, I'd love to talk about that. Okay. So that video, it is over an hour long, but I do feel like it covers all the bases. Like anybody could watch that video and not watch any other videos and build a solid business, because it's going to train them on, first of all, it's going to cast the vision for them, because I have found that people that actually take the time to watch that video, they don't stop at that video. They go and they watch video after video after video, because they get really excited, and then they go start recruiting, and they do it all by themselves, and they don't even need my help. And so that video casts the vision, and that's really important, because you can tell them to do steps 2 through 7 on this chart right here, but if they don't have the why that they're doing this, that comes from the vision and can I do this, that video really communicates well, then they're not going to do all the things. And so that video really does a good job of casting the vision about why Plexus and why now. And then it just gives them good actionable steps, how to reach out to new contacts, how to follow up, what if they ignore you, social media and branding, events. So the whole 9 yards, it's really, really good. Just to get somebody off to a strong start, and I promise you they're not going to stop there. And also I have found that people who would take an hour to invest in their business are usually worth me investing in them. So that is one way how I gauge who I'm going to invest in, is if they're willing to take their time to learn and invest in themselves, then they're usually worth me investing my time and getting on the phone with them and establishing, a more personal training connection. So.
Right. I love that. So the next thing we do, once we get them that video and they watch that, I take them in the back office and I show them where to find the 64 connection sheet. And this is basically, we talk about our list all the time, and you always grow your list of people that you want to reach out to. So you go in your back office, and under training and resources, you're going to find the 64 connection sheet. And there's a US and a Canadian version. So find which one, works for your person, and you can send them the link. I like to send them the link and show them where to find it. And then I just get them started with that. And the reason I like this sheet is because it has it broken down into different categories of people to get their mind working about who they could share Plexus with. And it breaks it down into like who could use the business, who could use the products, who would be fantastic at the business but maybe doesn't need the money, that kind of thing. And then it has, my favorite part is, who are your 4 people that basically love you and will do anything for you, because those are the first people we want to reach out to, because we want to try to get them silver as soon as possible. And these people are probably the ones that are going to get you there. A lot of times they are, and they're the first people that we reach out to, and we do talk to them differently than we would talk to, our Facebook friend Susie. So We want to get our people started thinking about all the people that we reach out to. But here's the thing, and this is very important. Do not get them to reach out to all 64 people in their first week. That's not necessary, and you don't want to overwhelm them or have them messaging all the people and they're not doing it effectively. So we want to start with the first few, that love them the most, and show them how to talk to those people, and then we'll work through the list with them as the month goes on. So that's the 64 connection sheet. Then we're going to host a launch party. Launch parties are super, super effective. They are great for getting your friends on board and just continuing that excitement that we've got going, right? So you want to either host the launch party in your first week, or at least get it scheduled. And I would say get it scheduled for probably the next week if you can't do it that week, while you still have that excitement going. And there's several different ways you can do launch parties. You can do a live event. People will invite friends over to their house, and you can have wine and food or whatever you want to have, or you could meet somewhere at a coffee shop or something, or you can do an online event. We do all the above and have had great success with all of them. So just get with your sponsor and figure out what's going to work for y'all and have at it. But just do it, get it on the books, because they're very effective. The next thing is going to be engage in three-way chats. You're going to, you want to be able to help your prospects to close their prospects. So get them to put their people in chats with you so that you can help. And again, that you're going to go right back to that smart prospecting graphic that we shared, where you're doing third-party tools and doing all of those things. So that's the three-way chat. Pretty simple there. And then we've got goal setting next.
Yeah, goal setting I think is really important, because 95% of successful people write stuff down that they want to achieve, and it's just really effective. So when you write something down, you're actually holding yourself accountable. I think the best way to help your new ambassador set goals is on the phone, because again, you want to connect with their why, and you just want that personal connection there. It's super important. So realistic goal would be, for most people, silver in their first 30 days is achievable for pretty much anybody, okay, who has 3 people that love them. Anybody should be able to achieve silver in their first 30 days. We've actually had several people achieve gold in their first 30 days. So just asking people, okay, how much time realistically can you put into this every single day? And how many people are you willing to reach out to? Okay, well, the ratio is 1 in 10. So at that rate, here's what we can realistically set your goals at, and things like that. So kind of help them with breaking down the numbers and the amount of activity that they need to be doing to reach their goals.
Yep. And then once you do that, we want to get them plugged in. We talked about this earlier, but getting them plugged in is going to be huge for keeping them on board, keeping them excited, keeping them wanting to do their business and believing that they can do it. So we have several things weekly that people can get plugged into. We have these Monday Night Lives that we do that are great for training. We have our book study calls pretty much every Thursday night. And then most weeks we do have an event of some sort to get people plugged into. And these are all very important because, number one, they're getting trained. No matter what kind of event or call they're on, they're getting some kind of training. They're getting exposed to our leaders on the team, so they're getting to see kind of what we do and where they could be. When you see leaders doing calls and things like that, most people kind of envision themselves being in that situation and, see where they could take this. And then they also get to kind of experience our culture. Again, we want to get people plugged into our culture because we have something super, super special, y'all. We really do. And you want your people exposed to it as much as humanly possible. So events and team trainings are very important. And then the last thing you want to do during their first week is get them added to E3. If you're not in E3 yet, that's our video training resource group. It is phenomenal. We have more training available than we even know what to do with some days. There's anything you could want to know is in that group, and you have access to it. If you're a member of our team, you have access to it. So if you're not in it, It's linked at the top of Plexus Freedom. Just go and request to join it. If you're in the team page, you will get approved. It's that simple. But get your people plugged into it and show them how to kind of work through it. And learn the things that they need to do, or something they're interested in, they can, go and check that out, whatever. Diamond documentaries, I definitely recommend starting with, because it's going to just build their belief and really, solidify what they're doing. So that's the first 7 days. Again, for all business builders, you want to do that. All right, let me figure out how to stop sharing. Okay. And then we will do the first 30 days. So we've covered everything to this point except their first entire month. And Brittany's going to tell us all about their first month and how to keep them going strong. There you go.
Yes. Okay. So for people who were only interested in the products, just know that you need to, Emily, that is kind of glitchy. I'm not sure. There we go. Just know that you need to plant seeds along the way. Just talk to them as if you are assuming that they are going to be working the business at some point. Just like from that first join phone call, you're walking them through that virtual office saying, this is where you're going to get paid if you do decide to start sharing. These are shareables in case you do decide to start sharing. You're always planting those seeds, even if they're only interested in the products, okay? Not being pushy, but just letting them know, hey, this comes with an opportunity if you should decide to pursue that. But for all of the business building ambassadors, if you are going through this duplicatable system and you've done all the things on the first 2 graphics, which was what to do in the first 2 days that they join, what to do in the first 7 days that they join, and then you follow through all the way their first month, they should be a silver by the end of that first month if they're doing these things. And this is going to help you train them. Like, this gives you a guideline of how do I train my new ambassadors. And we hear all the time, just help these people go silver, help these people go silver. But I know a lot of times it's easy to think, how do I help someone go silver? This is how, okay? So in their first 30 days, you're just going to help them duplicate that smart prospecting graphic that we shared at the beginning of the call. You're going to help them utilize that. You're going to help them formulate their own impact story. Help them come up with their why. Why did they choose Plexus? Why did they choose these supplements? Why did they choose this business opportunity? You have to help them because a lot of times people can share their story, but sometimes they might have trouble making it concise. There's a whole chapter in Get Over Yourself about storytelling so that you can use that as a template, but help your new ambassadors formulate their own story within their first 30 days. Show them how to use the third-party tools. Make them aware of all the tools available to them, because it could be that they're a new ambassador. All you shared with them in the process of getting them to enroll was 3 tools, when we have 10 to 20 that are available that they could choose from, So show them how to use the third-party tools. Help them engage in those 3-way chats. So if they're bringing people to you to help them get them on board, make sure you're engaging in those chats and help them fill out their help them reach out to their contact list of 64. Sometimes I'll tell my new ambassador, tell me a little bit about this person on this part of your list, and maybe I can help you come up with some good wording of how you could reach out. And then you want to be in contact with them at least every other day. If you have somebody who's a business building ambassador, they're actually working, you're probably going to hear from them every day. That's what I find to be true, especially in that first 30 days. So, and obviously if somebody's going for Fast Start goal, they're going to have to reach out to way more than 64 people to hit that goal. So you can adjust this according to what their goals are that they told you in their first 7 days on that goal setting call that you did with them. And that is pretty much it. If you're doing all these things, you should have yourself a new silver ambassador at the end of their first 30 days.
I love it.
All right. Anything else you want to add about the system, Emily?
No, I think that's just it. If you trust the system and you follow the system, it's not going to fail you. I think that's the bottom line. Everybody's going to move at a different pace, but if you're following the system, it's going to work for you. That's the bottom line. Get people plugged in, get them connected. Those relationships, you can't talk enough about them. They are so important. So just do the things, use your upline. They are there. I promise they want to help. So I think that's it.
All right.
All of these graphics will be posted in the team page, by the way, just so if anybody's wondering.
Yes, they will. Thank you so much, Emily, and we will see you guys next week. Good night.
Good night.